Hi, my name is Inês Breda. Welcome to the second episode of Bringing Research Closer to Practice.
I have been working in the water sector for the past 6 years. During that period, I have transitioned from academia to industry. One of the reasons for this transition was my desire to bring research closer to practice. In 2018, I met Jacob Amengur at the IWA World Water Congress and Exhibition in Tokyo.
So my name is Jacob Amengo. I am a water and sanitation professional. I work as a assistant water quality assurance officer with the Ghana Water Company Limited. We work on other social enterprise projects where we focus on providing integrated water and sanitation solutions to rural communities. So that I work with other young water professionals to achieve that aim. And currently, I'm also studying a Master of Science in Civil Engineering at the University of Calgary, Canada.
Just as me, Jacob shared a strong concern on the gap between academia and industry and its consequence on the innovation of the sector.
I would say that in the early part of 2018, I took part in a workshop, in a Recirculate workshop. So Recirculate is organized by the Lancaster Environment Center in Lancaster University. So we talked about circular economy and how its impact in the water industry. So one of the issues that came up was that a lot of research is being done on water and sanitation issues, but when it goes to the industries, they are also continuing to do the same old things that they used to do. And it's either they believe that the research that are being channeled does not have a positive impact on their operations, or they don't see any relevance in that. So in order to solve that problem, there is the need for that collaboration between the researchers and the industry, so that the solutions that they bring out is something that can be implemented to benefit the end users. So that is the main motivation for organizing that research to practice workshop, so that we see how best we can create some kind of model that ensures that research that are being done have a social impact on their communities. That is not just for publishing and then will be shelved.
We decided to organize a workshop at the International Young Water Professional Conference in 2019, inviting speakers from academy and industry to discuss the topic and have an open conversation among young water professionals. If you think about the workshop, what do you think you remember the most or strikes you the most?
The energy.
This is Pat Wallen. He is the chairman and CEO of Luminultra Technologies. He was one of the guest speakers of the workshop, and he was representing the industry side of the sector.
In our workshop, we had probably close to 100 attendees within that workshop. And, I remember just the general energy within that workshop from the speakers, from the participants, from the breakout groups that we had. There was just a lot of energy in the room, which was very refreshing to be able to see that there's that many people that are interested in something that I have worked in my entire life which is the water sector.
One of the main conclusions of the workshop was to listen to the communities, to be able to design research that develops impact-driven solutions.
All the young water professionals agree that the research that some of them do, they don't actually see its social impact. They either do it because they want to be awarded their degrees, or they just want to publish it or something else. So I think we all came to a conclusion that before we plan a research, we need to make sure that whatever that we want to do has a positive impact on our community, like can be implemented. So there are agreements that we need to plan our research from some kind of a collaborative point of view where we have industry and the end user in mind. That was so nice to hear.
As of 2020, the world had to come together to respond to a world pandemic, and so did the sector. How was the response to this very specific social need? Are the changes here to stay?
I'm hopeful that they will stay, yes. But on a macro level, I think we have seen that very point of starting with local engagement, community engagement for any kind of research, development, new product, new solution that we put together, go into action faster than I think we have ever seen before. You look at all kinds of manufacturers around the world that have pivoted their business to make everything from hand sanitizer to masks to gloves to test kits. And that was the essence of really what we at Luminultra did in the early days of the pandemic. We had a very particular skill set in developing molecular biology diagnostic reagents, and we had chosen to focus on the water sector. And we did not actively pursue, we'll say, the clinical diagnostic sector, which has experienced just a complete change in terms of the supply chain structure and the production capacity and the demand from the marketplace. So we were very quickly able to do the one thing that we all as researchers need to do, and that is to listen. We listen. We have to listen to what the community is telling us, what their requirements are. And yes, sometimes people don't know what they want, but in this circumstance, it was very, very clear what we needed to be able to respond to this pandemic. And in our case, we were able to take our very particular skills to provide the reagents that were required. We didn't try to, sell them anything else. We said, okay, you need reagents. We focus on reagents, and that's exactly what we did. So, that to me, it has. I think this pandemic has absolutely demonstrated unequivocally one of those key themes from that workshop that we did a couple of years ago, being engage the community and listen to their requirements. And only when you do that will you be able to align and see your research prosper, because it fills a need.
In addition to this perspective of the end user, another issue was raised during the workshop, and that was the need of inclusion of young water professionals in research projects.
When it comes to the different age groups, I mean, the younger you are, theoretically, the less you know and the more willingness you have to learn. And the older you get, the more you get kind of set in your ways, and you are who you are at that point. Now, that's not a perfect synopsis, but by and large, that's kind of the way things work. It all comes back again to engagement and being open with, where are we today as an organization? Where are we going as an organization? Where is the market today? Where is the market going? And trying to communicate almost to the point of over communication of those messages to ensure that everybody understands where they can direct their energies and how they can direct those energies, and getting people, the old saying goes, getting everybody rowing the boat in the same direction. Because it's basically, if you have one person that's rowing against everybody else, it will be that much harder for you to go where you want to go. So we try to encourage a culture in Luminultra of openness, engagement, and communication, but also curiosity and challenging the status quo and continuous innovation, continuous improvement, giving people the opportunity to learn new things and develop new traits, new tools, gather new knowledge. So we're a very, I would say, open environment from a standpoint of learning and gathering new information, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're a company that is one person, 10 people, 100 people. Everybody can bring a new idea. And that one new idea that one person might have, and it might not be the person you think would have that idea, they can bring it up and it can change everything. So you have to have a willingness to share, a willingness to be open, which, I think is becoming more and more common within private corporations. As time goes on, it's evolved from a more, we'll say, a secretive environment where the CEO and his or her management team has a plan, and we're going to tell you exactly what to do, and just do your job and don't worry about anything else. If you're going off course, we'll correct you. To more of a collaborative environment where everybody understands this is the plan. They have an opportunity to contribute towards that plan, and they have an opportunity to be able to direct their energies in, all in the same direction.
Completely agree. Um, I transitioned from from a PhD to or academic side more to the industry, and for me, the understanding of the organization passed through reading the mission, reading the vision. It came to a point that I decided, okay, I'm going to print it, and it's right next to my computer
Mm-hmm.
screen.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I have a question of, is this task something that I should pursue? I go and read it and then try to understand if it makes sense.
Yep.
And it really gave me some direction. And before I would say that mission and vision and values were maybe something that were fluffily written and that, more kind of a branding thing. But now I'm taking when I learn about a company and I read their mission and values, I'm really looking at what they are doing and if that aligns with that what they are saying they're going for. And so having a CEO aware of that and a team that is aware of that will definitely show in production and also in innovation for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's the, all of these types of tools like mission, vision, values, analysis of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. It used to be, in my view anyway, a lot of people give it what I call lip service, in that, okay, we'll write down a mission, we'll write down a vision, da 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 da, and then we'll put it in a drawer, and then we'll bring it out when we do our business plan next year, and we'll look to update it, and we'll put it back in the drawer. If you put it up on the walls, you put it on screensavers or desktops, you put it in communication. It's almost like infusing everybody with those
It's
principles,
organic.
key
Yeah.
principles.
But a strong generational distance is still felt in the industry, and one should consider its impact on the innovation of the sector.
Much attention is really given to age and then status in society. So if you are young, first they consider you to just keep quiet and follow instructions. Then two, you don't have your academic background. You don't maybe have a PhD, have a master's degree, and then so that means you have limited understanding of whatever that you are talking about. So that kind of um, um, attention is not really given to you.
Having young water professionals where seniors are sitting debating ideas gives us young water professionals the opportunity to hear and learn about the way that you discuss about water. What are your priorities? How do you face the challenges? This is a leadership skill that needs to be passed on through generations. In addition, it would allow us as young work professionals to share our ideas for the sector, let you know what we think we should work together for, and hopefully build it together.
Decision making should be across board. It should be intergenerational. The It should be a mixture of the senior professionals and the young professionals, so that that kind of development across generations can be carried out in implementation of such solutions and in the planning of research, because definitely what our generation know today is different from what the senior professionals their generation know. As example, you can talk about digital inclusions, because the current generation is more digitally inclined than the older generation. So if there is a mixture of both of their knowledge in planning a research or in implementing a research, it's much better because you bring the experience and you bring the dynamism parts to it.
So those were the two main messages from the workshop, bringing research closer to practice. One, include end users' perspective from the beginning of the project to make sure that you are creating an impact-driven solution. Second, include young water professionals into the decision-making process in your company. That will allow you to have access to the latest trends, the latest knowledge, but also to pass on leadership skills. As a senior water professional and a young water professional, we are in this together.